Hello, my name is Jackie Hill, and you're listening to using PubMed Central and Google Scholar for healthcare management resources. For our discussion today, I'm going to change up the research question that we used in the first video that we did on finding peer-reviewed articles, and I'm going to change it to, in what ways does moral distress affect retention, quality of care, and job satisfaction of nurses? Now, I will tell you that searching is a strategic process that helps you learn about subtopics, details, and the intricacies of your broad topic. Searching for sources is really the act of learning about your topic. And this idea of quality of care, retention, and job satisfaction are all things that popped up not even in the abstract of the articles that I was looking at, but in the titles. So I've tweaked my topic a little bit to do something different this time. If you decide to leave the databases, which are always your safest choice for finding peer-reviewed articles, and go onto internet sites, then there are two that I suggest to you as good places to find reliable peer-reviewed articles, and that is PubMed Central and Google Scholar. So let's take a quick look at PubMed Central, and the reason that I'm showing you PubMed Central as opposed to PubMed is that the resources in PubMed Central are available free of charge, and that's not the case with the majority of articles in PubMed. Go to the PubMed Central overview, and it's going to tell you basically that PubMed Central is an archive or a repository of information that will have historical significance. PMC catalogs biomedical and life science journal articles from the National Institute of Health's National Library of Medicine. There are over 5 million full-text articles in PubMed Central. That information dates back to the 1700s and goes all the way to present. And there are three ways that information, in this case what we're interested in are peer-reviewed articles, get into PMC, and that is through journals and publishers of those journals depositing their articles there for safekeeping. Author manuscripts are also deposited there. An author manuscript is the final peer-reviewed version of an article that's been submitted to a peer-reviewed journal. And then if an organization is doing a digitization project on biomedical information or life sciences, then they will deposit that digitized information into PMC so that it's there for posterity. So let me just show you a couple things about doing a search in PubMed Central. Here is the basic search right here. They also have an advanced search. Here are the fields we've been talking about when we've been doing the advanced search. But let's just do a basic search because there's a couple things I want to show you. So we'll go back to our search terms we've been using. So this is very similar to the database searching that we've been doing. Notice that you've got filters over here just like you have in the other databases. You can choose who funded the research. So if you only wanted research funded by the National Institute of Health, you could get that. Only in the last year, you could get that as well. And then when you open up the article, the full article is going to be there. These are all full text, and they're all available to you free of charge. So this is a very easy database to search in, and I hope that you'll give it a try. So let's take a look at Google Scholar. There's a few things I want to point out to you that I think might be helpful to you. First of all, when you do a search for Google Scholar, there's a link for Google Scholar search tips. These are some things that I think may be helpful to you, just to give you some ideas of ways to search that may help you a bit. So take a look at that. And then let's go into Google Scholar, and I'm going to go back to our research question. So I'm going to do moral distress, nurses, and retention. Remember, the research question had three parts to it. as far as the relationship to nurses' moral distress. It was retention, job satisfaction, and quality of care. I'm going to look for these one at a time, and we'll just play with one of them, but that's what I would suggest you do. Unlike PubMed Central, everything in Google Scholar is not free to you, but a lot of it is, and it's certainly worth taking a look at. So anything that has a link over here on the right, these are things that you will be able to get to. Whenever possible, use the PDF link and it will take you to the article. If it has a link to Journal Finder, that means that it's one of our resources that's available through our databases here at Moy Library. Copy the title, click on Journal Finder, click on one of the databases, it doesn't matter which one, put the title in and search for this publication, and then you'll be able to find that article. If the article does not have a link beside of it on the right, then you're not going to be able to get access to it freely. They will sell you the article, but what you can do is take a look at the abstract. Once you read the abstract, if you think it's an article that will be helpful to you on this project, then you can request it through interlibrary loan. So let's return to the results page. I want to show you just a couple more things. For every article, there's a star right underneath it. If you click that star because you think that article it might be useful, then you are saving it to My Library. And then when you click on My Library, there are the 3 articles that we just saved. Also, right beside of that are quotation marks, which give you the MLA, APA citations. Don't forget to always check those against a reliable source. Now, this is the thing that I really wanted to show you. Every article, or most articles, will have a cited by. This tells you how many articles cited this article. So these articles, these 254 articles, were written after this article was written, and they cited this article. I think I told you in one of the other tutorials, I look for articles that have a lot of citations, cited bys, because that tells me that a lot of people use that article, usually in a positive way. Now, they could have been refuting something in the article, but for the most part, when you see a lot of cited bys, it could give you some indication of the importance and the gravitas of that article. If you click on this cited by, it will take you to those 254 articles. So those are some things that may help you when you're searching in Google Scholar. But I think it will be worth your while to go into Google Scholar and just spend some time searching. Because you're going to look up sometimes and find several articles that were not in our databases, but were useful to you. Definitely go to Google Scholar if you do not find what you need in the college databases. You've been listening to using PubMed Central and Google Scholar for healthcare management resources. Thanks for listening.